Episode 8 and the finale to Season 1 of Ahsoka demonstrates that this show was always intended to open up new storylines more than close them. I am so excited for what will come next as a Star Wars fan, but let's talk about the incredible music by Kevin Kiner that was a part of this incredible finale. The episode begins with drum rolls that sound ceremonial, like a call to arms or the preparation of an execution. It immediately casts a dark militaristic shroud over the scene as we open up to seeing the Chimera. This is followed by drones casting an eerie presence on the room with Thrawn, Morgan, and the Night Mothers. The haunting music continues as the Great Mothers reward Morgan Elsbeth. Her theme begins to play in the synths, casting an eerie shadow over the ritual that empowers her.
Yes. For this new one. I do. Your loyalty?
Voices call through as well, and as Morgan receives her new powers, the low strings begin to power through with the same war march rhythm that could be heard as early as the opening red crawl. Morgan's theme comes through again in the high strings to counter this. As Thrawn looks on, we're hit with a tour de force of low brass, his organ, the Chimera's klaxon, and the TIE Fighter engines all at once. These same sounds take us into the title card before falling away and leaving us in silence for the next scene. Lighthearted music begins though as Ezra and Huyang begin their banter.
The blade emitter's too narrow.
Now look here, I've been teaching younglings how to construct lightsabers longer than you've been alive.
As Huyang looks on at Sabine, her theme momentarily plays. The music cuts away as she leaves the heartwarming moment though. As she confronts Ahsoka, Ahsoka's theme begins to come through in the cello, once again tender just like the calm and collected Jedi Master. As she reflects on Anakin, his theme momentarily comes through, and as she then shifts to thinking of Sabine, the music shifts to her theme as well. It's a great moment as Kiner is able to highlight how Ahsoka's relationship with Anakin has helped influence and inform her of how to be with her own apprentice, as Anakin showed a depth of love to those around him that was normally frowned upon within the Jedi Order.
Now.
As she begins directing Sabine more, the music returns to her theme just before Ezra comes out. As the TIE Fighters attack next, Morgan's theme briefly calls out before the brass attacks take up the fight. And personally, if there aren't quick and short brass attacks, especially in the trumpets, paired with the xylophone during battle scenes, then it isn't really Star Wars music.
On my signal!
The drones return as we return to Thrawn once more.
With the enemy and engaged.
Results?
A successful strike.
Ahsoka's theme calls through in the brass as they charge forward on the rat dog horses. And as we return to the Chimera, the drums bring an immediate militaristic feel to the scene. But Thrawn's theme begins to come through in the voices, nearly drowned out by the loud drums of war though.
It is for the Empire. The security of our galaxy.
He then watches Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine as they approach. As he commands them to be obliterated, his theme begins to play on the organ. This time though, there's no oscillation, just block chords, giving him the view of having more determination than even before, fully set in his path forward. Ahsoka's theme keeps attempting to call through as they approach, but it's interrupted by turret fire and brass attacks. The intensity increases with choir as well as they enter the temple and begin to battle the stormtroopers, unknowingly falling into Thrawn's plan. As the Great Mothers awaken the defeated stormtroopers, Kiner scores a solo violin to play a double stop. This is when a bowed string instrument like violin, viola, cello, or bass plays two strings simultaneously. The pitches share resonance inside the body of the instrument, which gives them a slightly less warm sound, and it's very different from simply having two violins play these two notes. By Kiner scoring a D sharp on the D string and having the open A on the A string, he creates a tritone that sounds more resonant due to the A being played on an open string as well. The combination of the tritone as a double stop while utilizing an open string shows subtle but expert orchestration on the part of Kiner, and it's worth it as this sound really made this moment more unique and striking as the undead are risen for the first time in live action. These double stop sounds have actually been a huge part of the Ahsoka soundtrack, including that great end credits track that I'll be doing a breakdown of soon. The rest of the strings come in with staccato attacks as well as the Night Troopers attack. The tritone continues to play throughout this scene, adding instability to space zombies for a score that was definitely created just in time for Halloween. As Morgan accepts her fate to stay behind and proving that she was always just a pawn, her theme sings through much softer and less confidently. This clearly shook her, and her theme has lost its earlier power and resonance because of this. But she finds the courage to confront Ahsoka, and as she unsheathes her sword, fluttering instruments call forth. This is followed by the iconic taiko stick playing that foreshadows every battle in this series. Personally, by the 8th episode, this has begun to feel slightly cliche, but I do have to hand it to Kiner that he does a really nice job of keeping a single sound fresh, even when used over and over for the same situation. The double stops return, this time in the cello for the build-up. The music completely kicks in once Sabine and Ezra are facing off with the Night Dark Troopers. Man, that can't be fun. Troopers that have been enhanced twice, once through stims and experiments and once through magic. Personally, I would have just force pushed them off the side, but maybe that wasn't an option. But in either case, these deadly zombies prove their lethality against the duo, and only in the last moment, Sabine finally is able to channel the Force enough to call her lightsaber to her and land a finishing blow to the Dark Trooper. As she does, the first 4 notes of the Force theme call through in a drawn-out and heroic variation, but from there it immediately turns into Sabine's theme before pulling away again and ending with Ezra's theme. What an awesome musical moment as Kiner ties these 3 themes together as Sabine and Ezra are pulled closer together through the Force in this moment as well. The moment is quickly interrupted by the klaxon though, and the escaping Star Destroyer. Ahsoka, also in trouble, is covered by the descending half-step. As Ezra jumps, aided by Sabine's push through the Force, Kiner brings in the Force theme again. This time, it's complete and triumphant as, well, almost. Building into a triumphant, powerful theme just to cut it off suddenly was a great way by Kiner to set up this moment of unknown. The taiko drumming comes on in full strength as Ahsoka and Morgan go at it again with renewed determination. As Ahsoka rises back up, with Sabine by her side, her theme plays through in a heroic and augmented variation. Elements of Sabine's theme are also mixed in here as the theme drops to Sabine's characteristic leading tone for a moment. And if Thrawn were actually on his game, this is when he would have opened fire on the temple, taking every precaution and not waiting to react like he does here. As Ahsoka and Sabine give chase, this scale in the brass plays through that is straight out of the soundtrack from Empire Strikes Back.
Star Destroyer.
Look, I know I've said this before, but can Kevin Kiner please just do all of the Star Wars music going forward? He's the only composer that actually knows how to score like John Williams, which is as much a part of Star Wars as lightsabers. And he does it in a way that is still fresh and uniquely his. He's possibly the most underrated film composer out there, and the guy needs way more props than what he gets. What do you all think? Should Kiner take over more live-action projects going forward and just be the main composer for Star Wars, taking on the role as the new John Williams, essentially? As Thrawn speaks to Ahsoka, his theme plays in the cello while eerie high glissandi play in the violins. It builds until he escapes into hyperspace.
Today, victory is mine.
A sad variation of Ahsoka's theme plays in the trumpets as she returns to the Turtle Hobbits. Their theme plays momentarily next. As we see Shin, her theme plays while she asserts her place on this distant planet. Balin's theme returns to the piano next as he returns to the beginning of everything. I can't wait to see what Filoni has planned for the Mortis gods as we see him on a statue of the Father. But I also can't wait to see what Lucasfilms does for Balin's character. They have to continue this clearly integral storyline. Do you think they'll CGI him or bring in another actor to portray the character? Filoni has proven that he gets the fans and can do things in a tasteful way, so I trust that he'll make the right decision for this character and his developing story arc. The piano goes to Thrawn's theme next as he arrives at Dathomir. What do you think his grand plan will be? Obviously, we're going to see some sort of resurrection, but how will this play into a larger scheme, and will it be before the sequels or possibly after? Alright. Why does Ezra wait until everyone has a gun pointed on him to remove his helmet? Why not tell everyone who you are before walking into a room full of blasters? At least it made a nice moment between him and Chopper. As he greets Hera, her theme twinkles through, giving this scene a beautiful atmosphere. But I also have to wonder, again, if Thrawn was on his game, how did he not notice the shuttle leave the Chimera? The final scene of the season goes to Sabine and Ahsoka, now stranded literally in a galaxy far, far away. Sabine's theme enters first as Ahsoka acknowledges Sabine's victory.
Ezra got home.
Ahsoka's theme answers and consoles us next in the low strings, just as she consoles her apprentice.
And so are we.
Across the Stars plays briefly again as Sabine again feels a ripple in the Force.
I felt like... What is it?
The ending builds from Sabine's theme into Ahsoka's, and this final moment with Anakin was beautifully shot and scored, showing how he's lovingly looking over the two. But I'm also curious what all of you think. What do you think of Kiner taking over way more Star Wars projects? What do you think will happen with Baylan Skoll's character? Will Anakin's ghost play an even larger role in the next season as we discover more about the Mortis gods? What do you think Thrawn's great plan is, and how will it play into the Star Wars timeline? What do you think the fate of Ahsoka and Sabine will be? What about Shin? Oh yeah, and what did you think of this music by Kevin Kiner? Totally bringing it for his Star Wars live-action debut. Tell me in the comments below what you think, and consider checking out my Patreon page using the link in the description, where you can help support this channel for as little as $1 a month, or download PDFs and MP3s of projects as I complete them, along with other perks at higher tiers. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about the music of a galaxy far, far away, and as always, may the be with you.